print studio. Every autumn I'm so inspired and I can't help but want to capture the season, particularly the glow of the leaves just before or after they fall. So this week I'm showing you one of my favourite ways to do just that, printing with autumn leaves. So it's a lovely way to bring that sort of fleeting, golden autumn feeling into your studio and into your art. I'll show you how to print with both fresh and dried leaves, so repeat patterns, soft background textures, botanical portraits as I like to call them. So gather a few leaves, grab a cup of tea and let's print something that feels really autumnal. I'm Ruth, I'm an artist, printmaker and teacher, and I make handprint videos from my shed studio in Bristol, UK. I'm helping artists to deepen their practice through hand printing at home. This Saturday, join me live for the big reveal. So I'm going to be hand printing a landscape on a YouTube live stream. I'm hoping to get you addicted to print reveals if you're not already, and also to let you know about the flash sale of my course Landscape Impressions. So register below, you'll get reminders, you'll get the replay link and your exclusive discount link for the course as well. So this is my haul from a little walk here. This was an urban walk, I wasn't even going into the countryside, and they look absolutely gorgeous, don't they? I've got some beautiful starlight red ones. I've got some ginkgos, which are my favourites. They press and dry really, really well, but I'm going to just use them fresh as they are today. I've got some of these sort of almost acer-like ones, beautiful red colours. So you can either, I often put these under heavy books, dry them, flatten them. You will lose the colour a little bit when you do that. But your other option is to print with them and try and preserve some of that colour and some of those beautiful textures and shapes. Start with essentially taking a portrait of a plant is the way I call it. I've got some colours here already that are pre-mixed. These are oil paints. I've got a colour here that isn't really a leaf colour, but it's a darker colour, it's a darker tone. And you don't have to stick to autumn colours, of course. And I'm going to use that one to create a bit more tonal contrast. So I might even start with that one. Let's start with this nice dark teal colour. So I'm going to roll out a fairly even amount of this colour first. Sorry about my squeaky roller. So what I'm actually going to do first of all, I'm going to put it with the back side of the leaf down, and that's because I'm hoping, and if you've ever done jelly plate printing before, it's a similar thing, I'm hoping for the veins of this leaf to make a nice impression in this colour. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually just take a print of that. So all I'm going to get in actual fact is this sort of silhouette shape. Got some plain paper here. And I'm pressing the leaf into the ink, and that should, I hope, leave a really nice impression, a kind of negative. So that's our first print, which is just a silhouette essentially. I'm just going to peel that off. Now you probably can't see, but there is an impression on that ink. Now I'm actually going to use a piece of tissue paper to start with, because I know that tissue paper picks up all the little details. It's really good like that. So I'm going to give that one a go. I'm just going to put some scrap tissue over the top so I can use my baron and really press down. Okay, so that's actually picked up really quite a lot of the detail. I'm just going to put this white piece of paper underneath so you can see a little bit better. And that's what I call a sort of portrait of a leaf, really. It's It's picking up the detail, it's got a lovely feel about it. That could be used in collage, it could just be kept on its own. I'm going to put some more of this nice teal colour out. I'm going to choose this one here. And that's because I'm going to use this piece of pre-monoprinted tissue paper. This is actually a ghost print. If you watch my videos a lot, you'll know that I always take ghost prints, so I've got a whole stash of papers like this. And I'm going to take that silhouette print with this. So I'm hoping that the leaf shape is going to, the red is going to show through, the pre-printed red is going to show through, and I'm just going to get this sort of teal silhouette. And I'm going to just use my fingers here. Fingers are often actually really good for this, rather than a baron or anything, or even a press, because you can really get into the little crevices and corners. There we go, like that, there. And sometimes you can even use the back of your nail as well. That can work really well. Back of a finger. And I'm getting all the little details in here. And I just wouldn't get that if I was using anything else. Just making sure I'm getting to the edges as well. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to use my Baron just to make sure that this leaf is pressed really well into the ink. And that is so that hopefully I can get a little print from the leaf itself as well when I flip it over. Okay, so peel away. Oh, and isn't that pretty? That's lovely. So the leaf has basically blocked that lovely teal coloured ink in the shape of the leaf there. And because it was printed red already, or I had a ghost print of red on it, let's put that on again. That has stayed that colour, which is actually pretty much the colour of the leaf. So I really like that. Hopefully we've got some ink on this actual leaf as well. Yeah, we have. So I'm going to take the print from there, and I'm also going to, in fact I'll do it at the same time, I'm going to place my leaf that's got ink on right next to it, and it should be like a really nice mirror image, I hope. I'll do it this way around. So this is the way essentially that I like to get really nice detail. Beautiful shapes, forms, texture. This is how I tend to do it. And like I say, if you've ever used a jelly plate before, you know, botanical jelly plate printing is very much like this. Okay, so I'm just going to use my Baron again. I'm not going to use my Baron on the actual leaf itself, just because the finger, I think the finger pressure was enough. Yeah, and there it is. And that is looking really beautiful. So I've kind of got a mirror image going on there. Difficult for you to see, likewise. I kind of love this natural frame as well. This is almost like a ghost print, this natural frame. It almost looks like a bit like a photograph. So really pleased with that. And then some real detail coming up here. And that was actually, you know, the leaf itself with ink on it. So that's really nice. That's how I make what I call portrait of a plant, portrait of a leaf. So just one more thing to show you before I clean up. You can also essentially do a rubbing of a leaf as well. So if you place your leaf under, and it works best this with thin paper, I must admit. So I've got some tissue here. And then just rolling, and this hasn't got much ink on, rolling your roller over that leaf, trying to keep it still. and you get a beautiful, like a brass rubbing, I guess. There is a posh word for this, frottage. But yeah, it's like a rubbing, and I'm actually going to do a whole video on frottage next week, so look out for that. It won't just be leaves, but it'll be all sorts of different things. But that's a really nice way to get your leaf portrait as well. So next up, I'm going to have a go at doing some repeat pattern, and I actually thought I would do some sort of nice blended colours here. So I'm going to do a bit of this sort of deeper red. Some of this nice orange, and then some sort of, actually I really like this kind of greeny, soft greeny colour. So I'm going to attempt to blend these all together. Now I've got quite a big roller here. Of course you can only go in one direction when you do this, otherwise you end up with a muddy mess. So I'm going to move the roller a little bit to left and right to get a bit of a blend going. And I'm going to do a very similar thing to what I've just done actually, but I'm going to use these ginkgo leaves and try and make a sort of more of a repeat pattern really. I mean, these are actually all slightly different shape, even though they're from the same tree. Actually, let's move that one there. Let's go there. Okay, now ginkgo leaves usually print quite well. I hope these will. I'm just going to try out this quite bright white paper on this, and this, if you remember, is just going to be the sort of silhouette print. So let's do a little bit of burnishing with the Baron. When you're working with fresh leaves, one thing is that they do still have quite a lot of liquid in them, quite a bit of water, so when you press down they can release a little bit of liquid or water. If you're using oil-based inks like I am, I'm actually using oil paint, it doesn't matter really too much, but if you are using water-based inks, you might get a bit of splurging going on. Now I'm going to use my fingers here as well to see if I can feel the edges so that I hopefully get quite a nice ginkgo silhouettes. And I'm going to press my hand down and just take a little peek, and then I can always put it down again if I need to. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay. Great, kind of little rainbow silhouettes. So we can do various things at this point. We can peel these off. Now these should have a nice amount of ink on. It would be really nice to take that as just as it is. But I think we can also print with these as well, now they've got ink on. So to take this really lovely delicate print, I'm going to use tissue paper again, because it just will pick up so much more than thicker paper. And these really are quite delicate marks that have been left. And I'm just going to use a bit of scrap paper. Really pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to use this white paper to put underneath so you can see that a little bit better. Okay, so we've got all the different ginkgo shapes there. And we can probably we might get a ghost print off that, but the other thing we can do is we can just place these. Actually, if I place the one that's got red ink over here, the one that's got yellowy ink over here, we might get some contrast, hopefully. Put that there. We might get both. Let's see. So I'm going to go back to the tissue again because again these are very delicate marks which most likely a thicker paper just won't pick up. So just pressing that down. Get some scrap over the top. Now I'm going to go over with the Baron, but I'm also probably just going to do a quick once over with my fingertips as well. And I don't know if you can see that yet, but this tissue is picking up on all the little veins that are on the back of the ginkgo leaves. I'm not sure if it's picking up on that ghost print behind it, but we'll see. Okay, a little bit. Let's pop that on the white paper again. So yeah, some of those ghost prints in the background have come through, and then we've got these beautifully detailed other ones here. So we're really starting to get a layered repeat pattern going on that one. So I'm just going to show you as well another thing that you can do. I've got a nice roller full of beautiful coloured ink now. So I'm going to go over these again. I think I'm actually going to swap them back over to the correct colours according to the roller, just because I don't want to get a muddy effect. Let's try this. That probably went like that. Just pop them closer together, and I'm going to see if I can do a good nice roll over all of them, which should, I hope, get nice marks onto the roller and get some ink onto the leaves themselves. So let's peel that one off a little bit. And that one. At least I know it's getting some good ink on. And this one. Okay, it's actually, I think it's only going to pick up on those ones. Okay, you might not be able to see that, but that now has got an impression of those leaves impressed into the roller. So let's see if that rolls out into a nice print. Okay. And again, I'm just going to show you that with the white paper underneath so you can see a little bit more. So that's kind of what I call a little bit lo-fi. You know, I mean, it's not really detailed, but it's got a lovely feel about it. The colours are lovely, got some of the detail come through. That will be brilliant for collage or as a background for something. You've essentially got the sort of stronger version here, and then the roller's going over again starting here, so you've got almost like a ghost print at the top there. You can cut that up and use that in all sorts of different ways. So that's really nice to do. And then what we can do is these have now, or at least those three, have got ink on. So let's put those onto here. Do you know what? Let's just print them like this, as if they were stamps, because that I can see that the ink's coming off. So what I would prefer to do is have the paper on top and push down and burnish that way. But these haven't got enough ink on that they're sticking, so I'm just going to press down. You know, and this is all part of the play. This is just like a real play session for me. They kind of look like butterflies, actually. So this is ink from where I've literally just rolled over these three with the roller. Let's pull that away. Yeah, they've printed. They've basically stamped, which is nice. Oh, that one's come up beautifully. So we could do the same for the other two as well if we wanted to. So we've got quite a few of those ginkgo repeat patterns now. We've got these ones and the ghost print and this one as well. Well, I hope that's inspired you to make the most of the season. Thanks for watching. Do check out my live stream, the big reveal. It's at 5 p.m. UK time on Saturday the 18th. That's this Saturday. I'm going to be live printing a landscape. You'll need to register below to get the replay link, and also if you're interested in that discount on my course, which is only for 3 days, then you'll also need to register. The link is down below in the description, so please do that, or just pop along and watch live. That's absolutely fine too. See you next week.